Greetings and salutations, Impact players. We are your Impact partners. I'm Robert, this is Ed, and in this video, we're gonna talk to you of why people remain broke.
Rob, first point off the top is that when you look at how people operate in general, most people are just way too impulsive. Okay. So the main reason why people stay broke is because they act on impulse as opposed to having discipline when it comes to how they handle their money in any situation. Okay. Good example, even as adults, the research says that over 70% of what we purchase are based on impulse. Wow. So you walk into a store and walk out with 70% of the stuff in your bag you did not intend to put in the bag before you walked into the store.
I believe that.
So when you look at a situation where you don't have any self-control and self-discipline, and you don't understand the need for delayed gratification, then you're gonna constantly be spending more money than what's coming in, or always spending more money than you intend. Okay. And so the first thing you have to get under control is your mind and acting off of these impulses to buy. Right? Oh no, absolutely. I agree with you. In fact, just to piggyback what you were just saying, you wrote in the book, and it's a shameless plug, but we wrote a book together, C4, and one of the things he wrote about is, something simple, very practical, but he was saying always shop with a list, because he was talking about that impulse spending. Like you said, 70% of the stuff in your basket you never even intend to go get. You never intended to get that, and it ended up in your basket. Right. So just go on a list. Stick to that list, and now you're only getting the stuff that you told yourself you needed before you even left the house. So I definitely agree with that. But what really grinds my gears, and I see it all the time, what really gets me upset is the reason why some people are broke that I've seen in my life is because of a particular mindset. They have we're both fans, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and all these other self-help books and things like that. But one thing that stands out is when you say there's a different vocabulary. And what I mean is that a lot of times, and we came up in very humble beginnings and stuff. Very humble. Very humble. And the thing was, we thought in terms of like a paycheck. Whether we saw someone's a married couple and they're like, okay, daddy brings home the paycheck or mommy brings home the paycheck. We thought in terms of paycheck. When we were younger, we didn't think in terms of cash flow, didn't know what residual income was, didn't know what any of that stuff was. So it's just a mindset. And then when you carry that on from being young all the way up into adulthood, you're still thinking, okay, I gotta make my paycheck, or you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're living from hand to mouth and stuff like that. And I just think we have to change our mindset to stop thinking in terms of a paycheck and start thinking more terms of cash flow. And also when you're saying the things that they buy, I think we need to spend less times investing in consumerism or materialism and start moving towards asset. You're right. Things that, can appreciate in value. So I think that's the second point I want us to make on that. Just a mindset, a poor mindset versus a wealthy mindset. So 2 points. Your third point is this. What's undeniable is that there are far too many people still trying to live way beyond their means. You would never get wealthy living beyond your means. Understand that? So broke people always live beyond their means. What I've learned just through experience, through trial and error, is that in order to really save, you have to know how to budget. You have to have the discipline. Sure. And that means that as your income grows, your lifestyle should not grow with it. Agreed. You made $40,000 and you were struggling. They gave you a 6-figure salary. You find yourself still struggling because you immediately went out and bought the Benz and upgraded the house, and now you're still living from paycheck to paycheck. And so as long as you're living beyond your means or stretching your means to its limit, you're gonna continue to be broke, looking crazy, struggling and frustrated. Yeah. So understand that broke people do not know anything about what it means to live within parameters, right? Boundaries. Yeah. Right? You have to live within your means, or you're gonna stay broke.
And it takes self-control. You gotta have self-control, you gotta have discipline, and it really takes that. And if you can't discipline yourself and delay that,
I'm gonna let you make that other point there. But it does come back to the attitude towards money, you know, because I think we have a lot of misconceptions. So I think another point is that the attitude towards money, or the misconceptions towards money, and what people who eventually get wealthy, like what they do with their money. Because I think they believe in some of the things you see on videos, you know, and like in music videos and stuff, and think that's really how the wealthy live, and they really don't do that all.
I'll make it rain.
All the time, you know, they live pretty practical, you know. I've had the pleasure to actually, you know, sit down and have dinner and have conversations and rub elbows with people who are wealthy in 6- and 7-figure incomes, and they typically don't live the way you see in music videos. It hasn't been in my experience that, you know, they just don't typically live that. Those are extremes, and I think we're believing the extremes that they did, you know, that they just flaunt their wealth all the time. And I think we got to get out of the that fantasy world that's what all of them do. They, you know, they wear all these name brand this and that and stuff like that. I mean, sure, they have some toys and things like that, but for the most part, it's really pretty practical, you know. They really do.
And it just reminds me what you said about the attitude again. You know, I used to run into my own tax office.
Okay.
And I've had a situation where people come in there and get, you know, an $8,000 return, and you know, 3 months later or so, they're broke, calling me back, asking me why I charged $500 to do all of that work I did to get them $8,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're looking for anybody to blame but yourself and your own ignorance and weaknesses behind how you handle money.
Tell them.
And have enough discipline to manage that, you know, effectively.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, so I mean, I see it all the time, and that's just one example of many.
You know, we've seen these statistics over and over and over. Just a lottery winners, we're looking at it, and they say that a lottery winner, and it doesn't matter the amount, they could have won 10 million, 20, 50, 80 million. Said 18 months. 18 months they're broke. They say inside 3 years, the average NFL player broke. Didn't matter how much he made. It does not matter. See, that's a person, that's an attitude and a mindset problem. It's not a money problem. Because if 10 million can't fix it, 20 million can't fix it, 80 million can't fix it, what can fix it? It's not the money, you know? It's not the money, it's the person. So it's that attitude towards money.
Right.
My last point, my third and last point is that I think a lot of us remain broke because of the stories we believe already. All the money myths, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, it takes money to make money, things like that, things we may have heard from what do you think, I'm made of money? You know, things like that, you know, and it's just some of these myths that they put these particular roadblocks right in front of themselves and say, I can't get beyond that, you know, and then the whole thing, they'll be like, well, I could never make, I'll start, you know, humble. I'll never make $20 an hour. Well, yeah, you're right. You know, if that's your attitude, you're right. You know, I'll never make $30 an hour. I'll never make $50 an hour.
Yeah, Will Smith said it best.
Yeah.
The person who thinks he can, the person who thinks he can't, are both right.
They're both right. They're both right. So yeah, if you believe those myths, you know, if you believe that, the one thing about it is our mind. What we do is that our mind is always looking for a way to make us right, no matter what.
You heard that?
There's always looking for a way to make you right, because none of us want to be wrong about anything. So your mind's gonna figure out a way to make you right. Say, you know what? I can never make more than $50 an hour. Okay. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
Mental roadblock, right? Rewire. Let's not do that. We can't do it.
Absolutely.
Can't, right?
Every time.
So yeah, my final point, I think that everybody needs to hear is that most people stay broke because you're trying to keep up with the Kardashians. Right? You're trying to impress people, or you're trying too hard to either impress people or keep up with people. Mm-hmm. And what you see on reality shows, not only is it usually not reality, it's definitely not your reality.
It's not your reality.
And so you need to understand that that's just what it is. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
So stop trying to impress people, spinning your wheels, spending all your little money when you should be doing other things with that money that will benefit you over the long term.
Absolutely.
So we need to stop being so consumer driven and so and so in love with this Hollywood kind of culture where we kind of like praise and worship celebrity and think that we can, you know, live that life when we haven't put in that kind of work.
Absolutely. You know what? And to button that up, something that you brought up off camera was delayed gratification. We see that false reality TV. We see that and we want to live that way. Oh, so-and-so is wearing that, I'm gonna go buy that. You know, this guy's wearing this, I'm gonna go buy that. That type of thing. Well, you know, put in the work first, lay the foundation, get the assets, build the income, then go buy it. Don't get it now. Don't rent the lifestyle, own it. Yeah. We just want to drop this on there. I know it's going to hit some people right between the eyes. It may upset some people or whatever, but hey, the reason why we do it the way we do it is because people are motivated different ways. You know, you can be inspired and we can pat you on the back and that a boy. And sometimes some of us need to get kicked in the butt or get knocked across the head to really get it, to really make it understand. Somehow, some way, we just want it to sink in. So with that, we are your impact partners. And until next time, go and make a personal impact.